I got my first vaccine. Did you guys?
Oh yeah, we've had it.
Cool. I can't wait to go see my mom. Let me get my second.
Where's your mom?
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Yeah, my dad's, stage 4 Alzheimer's. So, I don't know what to do. I gotta take care of him. I promised I would. It's my stepdad. My biological father, guys, as you know, died. Right? Did you read the obituary?
I didn't.
Yeah, he didn't put me and my little brother in it. My little brother's dead, so you know what I mean? He put my older brother, because it's two different moms.
Oh, I see.
So that's pretty fucked up to me that, my brother died 20-something years ago, you don't put him in there. So.
Where'd your dad live? Connecticut?
My sperm donor is Lou Chili, so that's Lou Chili. That's my biological father. But he showed up at my little brother's funeral. My father died at 20, a month before his birthday. He's going to be a teacher. And of course, Lou showed up for money. Because that was, of course...
Is this the same Lou Chili
yes.
used to live in?
Yes, that's the guy. That's how I got here. He's just a lying piece of shit. I'm nothing about him. Him and I butted fucking heads like you wouldn't believe. Yeah.
I remember.
He's a fucking asshole. Are you one of the ones he walked through the house?
That walked through the house?
Yeah, the dude would dude, I'd come home and there'd be fucking cops at the house. Walk through the fucking house, him all pissed off, telling me that I'm locking him out. I said, why don't you try the key in the other door? I lost the keys to that door. He said, it works. I said, why don't you go to the back of the fucking house? You know the door back there. It's open. It's a fucking little fucking shitty door. You got the cops there all the time, walking through the fucking house. I got a pile of letters from him, me cleaning, painting the house. It was fucking hell. It cost me over $50,000 to live in this house 3 years. That's my experience moving here. But I didn't move a suitcase. He made me put my milling machine, thousands of dollars worth of shit in the backyard and not open up my motorcycle shop. I had to go find a job. Spent my entire savings because I said, who the fuck's gonna hire me? I didn't move to Maine to go get a $13 an hour job when I'm fucking making 18 down here, about to get a more raise. Why would I? And I had a building that I could have bought from that landowner. He was a better man than Lou Chili. So this is about this case that.
Okay, Chris. So a couple of things. You want a cup of coffee?
Absolutely.
All right. What do you put in it?
Nothing.
We don't. Nothing.
No. Thais drink it black. You can't have a wife that drinks black coffee and you put your king of sugar in it. It just don't work that way. It's like, you got a man up. So I've been drinking it black. And their coffee's incredible, man. Thank you, sir.
So we have an hour.
Okay, so, well,
And
I'm going to make it quick. And easy
okay,
and
quick
simple.
is good.
So,
Good.
well, the thing is that you don't listen. You started to listen, and of course you're listening now because, wow, you looked at the tree several times. That says a lot, okay? It didn't make sense to you. I know people. Now, this is about this and what I'm going through now. From the time this started with your, I don't know if your sister married him, but then now that would be your brother-in-law.
So if you're not drinking, you got to have that mask on. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's just the government's mandate.
So then Barry comes saying that Larry and him are going to destroy us. Now, to me, I can't go to somebody's house in Connecticut drunk with my wife and start screaming at somebody. Then,
I don't want to interrupt you, but
after an hour of
it's the policy.
After an hour of bullshit, then they call me. Okay? So that is, to me, why didn't they show up with him if there was an issue? Okay? Then we move to this case here with Patricia Hardy, where she's kicked off my land, told to go away. She shows up later where I'm assaulted. Okay? He leaves it up to me whether he goes, what do you want me to do about it? Because the marks on my arm. What are you going to do about the marks on your arm, Chris? I go, dude, I just want to get paid. So he shouldn't be living up to me. I was just assaulted. Somebody came in the shop. It's all in here that he did it. That's what's so nuts about this. It's called criminal intent. I would like you to look up the law for criminal intent. What is criminal intent? Do you know what it is? It's a question, guy.
I know what criminal intent is.
Well, tell me what it is.
It's the intent to commit a crime.
Can you please look it up and read it to me?
Well, it's really not a term that's used in Maine law.
It is Maine law, it's on Maine.gov.
Criminal intent, it's not.
Criminal intent. This is what it is. The thing with, if I speak and just listen, this would go really quick rather than interruption.
Okay, so
Jamie
you asked
Kane
a
told me
question.
to ignore Maine.gov, okay? That's where I get my laws. I don't go on Connecticut, I don't go anywhere, just like you. It's an interpretation. We all get to interpret everything. That's why you with the camera. I says, what is your opinion? Okay? Jeremy tells me I can't accept it. No, it's our opinions. You said you wouldn't like it at your house. I said, I don't like it. Okay, yep. That's what, oh, fine, I have to live with that. Now, I go on Maine.gov to see what I break for laws. Criminal intent is when somebody does just what Patricia did here. I says to you, she should have had the police there. I come from Connecticut. You could never do what they've done here, okay? So, you have Patricia come to my house and run over something purposely that's flagged, causing it. Okay, get out of here, do not come back. She shows up, and in here she says she didn't call me. She literally admits to it, and in here the judge says, because I'm here for an oil change, not the criminal side. Maine.gov says it's 6 years for a crime. Criminal intent is when, now the man who came to my house was a stranger. He's not the same man who came, that's why there was two men in court. Okay? So, that's going searching somebody, which she calls her mechanic, and bringing them to my house. And then something happening, which she hid in the car behind a dog, and she says that. So, then the man comes into my shop and I'm holding an ice cream. He says I'm holding the ice cream. And I asked Mike Gould if I was going to fight you with a whole ice cream, or you think I'd launch it the size of you guys? Look at me. And my foot, my leg, it doesn't move. So why do you guys think I want to fight? I don't want people coming to my house, blah, screaming, and I'm trying to calm them down. The doctor on the hill did it about the neighbor's radio. So why is it that everybody can come screaming at me? That's what they do. And then if I say, get the fuck out of here, they call the police. Dave did it. He called telling me it was about my dogs. Okay? And the millionaire calls the police on me. I asked him why he did about the train. I says, why did you call the police? Because you yelled at me. The police showed up in my driveway. Huh? What? I don't understand that. What law, crime, because you say crimes. I asked you about this incident. Well, you know, I had bruises on my arm. What do you guys enforce here? You said trespassing. I says, well, she was trespassing. She was kicked off the land, told to not come back. In here, she said she didn't get a hold of me. I don't know what phones work. I call this one, I call that one, they don't work. Because she didn't pay me. He knows all of this. Because I was on a quad at the time that this bike, and she demanded I go to a guest to get a cylinder head that wasn't fixed. Here's photos of the bike in pieces. The valve, this is burning oil. Here's the cylinder. Okay, these valve guides are 20,000s. I told him it could break. Here's where the oil was coming down. Here's the oil on top of the piston. Here's where it sat in the thing. This is her motorcycle. This woman literally denies her motorcycle when she custom made a saddlebag stay. How do I know that's my bike? She said. I told her I didn't want to work on this. Bring it to your mechanic. Because I'm not a mechanic. The mechanic's the one who assaulted me. So, you tell me civil matter. What are you doing in civil matter? There's two things in this world. We all have an opinion, correct? We do. In Maine.gov, it states that this here, this is evidence. This is disproving. She admitted to everything though, okay? You guys only had your opinions. Now, the sheriff says I fuck everybody here. Guggen or whatever, Guggenheimer. So, think about that. What? Patricia never paid me. Larry Hersey never paid me. What's his name never paid me? You realize he has a $100 welding tank, your friend Barry. I made $5 an hour. My job since 17 years old has been to keep track of my time. You're going to tell me I don't know how much time I have in this issue? We have a mental illness issue in this town, correct? We do.
That's true.
No, we do. Massive. So I wanted to prove a point. On my leg, right? I went to get disability guy died. You know what they said? Due to education. That's the excuse for not giving me disability. That doctor looked at my leg, he couldn't believe it. I had a beautiful poor woman in the thing asked me if I was going for my annual. I said, I don't have disability. She's like, what? Her husband comes walking out, this big guy. He got a boo-boo this big. He gets disability. Okay, I figured it out. You don't get disability because you're broken. You get disability because you're broken. You understand that? Broken in the mind. Because the man touched my foot. He made me take off my sock and see my foot. He holds my foot. He goes, dude, look at the calluses on this foot. On this foot. Okay, you're going to see the full foot. You don't have a choice. I washed for you guys. That don't move, guys. This is who you're fucking with. For Patricia Harding. You sided with her. Want to know a good one now is, you know what this Trump era, and I tried to...
So, let me say something.
You can say anything you want.
To just,
Yeah.
we don't take sides. Guy didn't
That's
take
not
a
true.
side.
That's not true.
Yes.
That's not true, sir. Let me
we
back
are
up.
we're
His
subpoenaed.
friend, please, sir. His friend Barry Ray, he stood there, saying nothing, doing nothing, just stood there. Barry is going, pew, 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 drop. That's not. Maine.gov says he can't come to the house drunk, intoxicated. Me calm him down. He's accusing me of stealing. His wife is. It was all because Barry lied, telling her he gave us tons of money so he could lie about alcohol. The wife finally found the truth. Now, if assault's assault, remember when she came out and she was, that's assault. You should have arrested her, no?
How's that assault?
You can't touch her. I'm right now.
Oh, it was in your chest?
No. She was slamming him in the chest. It says right here. You can't.
Wow.
Yeah, in anger. Okay?
Okay.
Now, assault is like I pushed the man and ran. Here in Maine.gov, it's like you have to have intent and anger. I had a man, and you can see it in the video I'm going through now. The man comes up to me. I go through the door. I shut the door. Somehow, that old man that I pushed away from the door so I could spin and go this way runs into the door.
So the key to assault in Maine, Chris, if you look at the law
I did
in
read the
Maine,
law.
is offensive physical contact. You have to find it offensive.
I wasn't offended.
If guy punches me on the shoulder as he's walking by, I don't call that offensive.
I wasn't offensive. I knew he's coming at me. He stepped up on the step coming at me, swearing. My back's against the door. This is the man knocked out.
But that's
Okay, listen.
an assault case that we have nothing to do with.
Why didn't he write a report when I went to him twice? Why didn't you write a report when I went to you about the man and what happened? You said it was about chasing down money. What did I say to you? Not about the money. It's about in the future him coming at me because the man told me he knocks people out for looking at him wrong. All I wanted you guys to do is what everybody else is being able to do. This is what you have to understand. Do you realize that this right here, Patricia Harding is wanting my wife's visa. Me to prove my wife's visa. Do you know in this country you can't do that? I paid for my wife. This is what you got to understand. I'm begging this man the whole time, my wife, my wife, my wife, that I brought from another country. I'm trying to protect my family. She doesn't speak English well. She can't work. She didn't have a green card. This dude knew this. Do you understand me? The whole point of all of this is that he's not qualified to go to a situation where there's mental illness on the other side. Do you understand that? The whole point of all of this is that you guys need help, just like the rest of the country, to identify this. I've been trying to tell it to him. Don't look at me like a dumbass. Remember I said these things, don't be stupid? That you look at my videos that I do just about mental health. Why? What happened after mediation? You probably don't remember. The sheriff barges in when Patricia tells the mediator that I bought my wife. Hey, did you buy your wife? Do you think that's offensive if I say, hey, did you purchase your wife? You purchased your wife. Guess what, guy died? He bought his wife. So I says to that one, we're done here, and I get up, and that's when the sheriff barges in, demanding me sit that back down. I'm like, you just said I bought my wife. She just said, what? Where am I? So he demands me to sit back down. I go, no, we're done here. Demanding. I asked him, I go like this. She goes, nope, Mr. Chili does not have to sit down. Do you know how simple this was? I asked the mediator, who would pay $280 for an oil change? She looks at Patricia Harding and goes, yeah, you're right, who would? That's when this bullshit starts. I got out there, and I asked the sheriff, why don't you like me? He says, my tone. Remember that? You're standing right next to him. I'm asking a question. It's a yes or no. Do you remember you standing right next to the sheriff?
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, there you go. That's what we need. We need dialogue. Dialogue is you answering simple questions. And what did I say to him? Excuse me, sir, my tone? Like, how the fuck do I change my tone? I can understand when you get upset, but my tone, I was close. Like, sir, why don't you like me? Your tone. Excuse me, sir? Tone. What did I whisper in his ear? Want me to use my bedroom voice? Then before we went into court, I looked at you in the eyes and I said, hey, dude, what are we even doing here? You can't even look at me. Then we go into court, and I want this back. Read that Jerry Springer episode. And you tell me that's fair and just. The judge literally states crime. But that's a different matter. It says, Bob, listen to me. This tablet tells me Maine.gov says 6 years for crimes. I've been
That's
calling
you're talking about the statute of limitations.
Listen to me. I called him the day after for weeks, wanting to press charges so that this doesn't happen. She contacted a lawyer. You know what that lawyer talking to me said? He wouldn't represent her. There's no way she would win. Then she goes to court and wins. This is crazy packed. You don't think you empowered with the sheriff and 2 cops sitting there. Everybody gets to have their opinion. She admits to every fucking crime she did. And at the end of this all, you say it's about a fuel tank. Well, you know what? Patricia says you never saw the bike here. 3 times the judge literally backs Patricia out of that statement. The judge coaches her like a lawyer would coach you. You know when they whisper in his ear, hey, Todd, you shouldn't have said that. No, the judge is coaching her in this.
Well, it's a small claims case.
No, back up. I
Right,
read all
well,
about
this
it.
is
I
small claims.
literally called the complaint place about the judges to the guy who knew my name and my tone, and we had discussions on this, and I went over this with him.
So,
All by, no, this is the beginning of the matter with him. Then when the Chris ordeal, with the Chris Raoul ordeal, what I don't like is at the end of that, you tell me Chris is going to do nothing. I don't know who Chris is. At the end of the dog ordeal, Mike Gould tells me it's my fault if my dog gets killed. These are police officers? He tells me he's not to chase down my money. In here, this is what you got to understand, sir, is that you guys are talking in a circle. Because everything you say, chase down money, the judge says, why didn't I call the police? I did. He never went. Because you know what? Patricia has a gun. Gun. She told me when I called her, and she says I'm harassing her, and I'm saying, please just pay me. I got my phone bill, man. So, therefore, I call you guys and I say, man, she just told me she's going to get her bike back at any means, and she has a gun. I don't know what that is. That's when you guys come. Now, think about this, dude. You were there. That was a civil matter, right? Correct. What are you doing there?
I was there with Scott Harmon.
Okay, listen. The sheriff came the day with the snap-on. You were there. Josh Inkster told me that was you. You stood there like he stood there. Your name's in there. That's what I'm trying to say to you. This is nuts. Insanity. Your name is Bob Young, correct?
Right.
I don't know who you guys are. Why should I know who the fucking police are? You're like trying to tell me I know who the fucking police are down there in Connecticut? I don't know who they are. Just the one who chased me on a dirt bike when I was 13 years old. And then later we laughed about it in life. Anyway, your name's in here, Bob. You were there. I told you my Thai wife was there. She blew her mind. My wife was suicidal on what was happening because everybody's lying about me, and you paint me out to me. This man says I'm a compulsive fucking liar.
I didn't go to that hearing.
Remember when you showed up to take Patricia's bike?
I didn't show up to take her back.
It's in here that you showed up.
I don't think I did. I don't remember. I remember going to your house over Scott Harmon,
Okay.
with Scott Harmon. If I went up there with the sheriff one time, I may have.
You did. You just stood there. And I'm begging to the sheriff to look at these, talk to my wife, and then Josh comes, and I'm like, him ask these questions. And the first thing I said to the man was, he gets out of the car, and he had the dog shit look on his face. You know, everything I said, you've heard before. So I said, he had the dog shit look on his face. I said, nice to meet you. I've only seen you on TV. How do you forget that? And then he was looking for the bike. You know what was crazy is I walked out of my garage. I knew what he was there for. He was there for you guys to start shit. I know how you roll. I have friends that are cops. They tell me how they roll. So, here we go. You show up. You're standing there in the sole position like him. The cop, that dude's being a fucking prick. Tells me these pictures don't exist. I never had the fucking engine apart. That's what the sheriff is telling me. Now, I made it seem like this is what pissed him off, and you noticed it. Because with the look on his face when I told him, no, that bike was outside. He thought it was in the shop, so I made it look like I locked the fucking door on these guys. bike was around back. He was there just to take the fucking bike. I know what he's there for. Because it was months after the beginning of this. There's no police report on this. Where's the police report on this? So there is a side on her calling after she started an incident. That's police misconduct, word for word. And I said to him, like, you can't even do it. You won't even pull it up. I say to people who give me misinformation because I don't speak without reading, and this is what I read. And when somebody, literally knowing that this incident could go, she's coming to take a bike, she admits to having absolute no intentions to paying for the bike in here. The judge literally says that what she says doesn't make sense. You know that? He quotes Judge Judy. Okay, Judge Judy has a t-shirt. If it doesn't make sense, it's not true. That's where I live.
But that's a judge's decision. There's nothing we can do with that.
Yeah, in a civil matter.
It's a judge's decision.
In a civil matter.
Yeah.
But not the criminal side. He has to set that aside. That's different. Do you understand? That's what, oh my God,
Yeah.
you're missing it.
I,
Okay, let's go on. We can go on. What I'm saying is that this. Now here we are, and I come to him for the man to look out that didn't pay me. Okay? I told the woman I won't even go on the job for $1,000. It was a $2,000. Then they have no money. So how is it they could leave me on the job like they have money? They don't have money. Then they use the excuse that I call them harassing phone calls. Well, show one. It's just saying, pay me, pay me. I need to be paid. I called Guy Dow. That's the harassing. Guy Dow called him once and then never follows through. He doesn't do anything either. It's not even put on paper that I came here. So, therefore, there's no protections. Okay. Now, when I go down to this, courthouse, I talk to Boston Bob. I call him. He's a former cop in Boston. I've been telling him this stuff. He can't believe it. Why is what I'm saying the same stuff to him? And he's like, what are they doing? You should have a report. Where's the reports? Where's the reports? What about the bullet? I brought the bullet. Okay. Now we get to the point. I mean, come on, here we are, here. And I literally say to him, because I know this is wrong. I know what he's doing is wrong. Because he's choosing sides. You can't tell me he's not. So, I mean, his buddy tells me, his drinking buddy tells me that Larry ain't going to destroy and he's going to do nothing. And he's ready to drive off that. So you can't tell me it's not him. So here's the bullet now. I show you. You say this way. Guilford says this way. But you're trying to tell me you guys did nothing about this. I called the state police about Dave shooting at me. They did nothing because you're yahoos. That's what they said. Now my tree, I can't protect my tree. I call Mike. He says call Forrester. I call Forrester. Nothing wrong with the tree. Then I have, and this is what it is, dude. You have to understand. I have Jeff Libby tell the lady that I'm in my building, but he's at the stop sign with a tractor. He almost runs me over with a tractor. Then he calls the police. No. In the road, I'm like this. That's when you stop down, and don't tell me otherwise. That would be a mental illness. You would stop and not cause further. What if he had run me over and crushed my right leg?
yeah, you can put your mask on.
I'm drinking my coffee, sir.
Yeah. So you kind of rolling a whole lot of things together here.
Right.
This bullet. So let me ask you this: the deputy was it? I think it was Radcliffe. Who was it?
Kyle.
Kyle.
Your ballistics expert who told me that impression is 122 miles an hour terminal velocity and was fired from Dover, but yet fell. Think about that, dude. Dover's here. Well, terminal velocity could not be this to make it to my house. That terminal velocity is it. It stops. Just like it went like this out of a plane. That's terminal. That, you agreed, is muzzle. Did you see? I don't know if you saw that, guy. You can see where it hit hardest. Bent my thing, broke my windshield. Nothing done about that. Now, we have a guy.
So what do you think we're going to do with that? You wouldn't allow the officer to take it.
You don't need it as evidence, and even the guy down in the thing says, why would you give that to the police? They can take a picture. You don't need evidence. Why don't you take my windshield for evidence?
So from our, we're not going to agree.
That is your right.
From our
and
perspective.
you're able to do that. You're able to just go, yep, you know what?
Kyle knows firearms.
No, he doesn't.
He's just.
Tell me where that came from, Bob.
I have no idea. I don't know firearms.
I know metal. It's metal.
Kyle knows firearms. But I do know.
He disagrees with Kyle. You showed it to your ballistics expert from a photo in a camera. I showed it to a Dover old gentleman sits here, big guy with white hair. Okay,
Dave Roberts.
here's a fact. Every single Dover cop said that that came right to left. Every person I show that to, that no, the only people. No, don't, I wish you didn't have your mask on. Are you coughing? Are you, okay, you cool? The only people who said that this came front on was Guilford. This thing was
You
spinning.
mean the sheriff's office?
This thing was spinning. You could tell that. You could tell where it went. You're not going to get that in the tumble. That's an impossibility. See, I deal in facts and science, okay? These are facts.
But you're-
No, I don't have an opinion. Because after this happened, I went on Google Earth to say where, and it's 395 yards. I also went on internet, that's why these are here, these devices here, is to disclaim anything you say by the way bullets work, and all my things in gun, it's all here. That's what I'm trying to say. These things are beyond us. Okay? So I can literally, your ballistics expert, I says, because I don't like to be called a know-it-all, because I fucking hate that, because I don't know shit. So, when I showed him this bullet, he told me it fell, terminal velocity. I said, that's 120 miles an hour. He goes, well, I don't know what it is. It's 122 to be exact, but I don't like to be called fucking... So think about that. He don't even, your ballistics expert, that's why I said, please bring somebody else. Because I've done 120 motorcycles. I'd go through me.
So,
The damage on the windshield, it bent a windshield wiper like that. At 120 miles an hour, you're tell me it's going to bend a metal. This is what it is. I know metals. You don't know metals. When you get a cold rolled steel, you can go fook and it's going to go dunk. You get something that has memory, it's treated. So it's going to flex back. 120 miles an hour, you're going to tell me cars, some object. 120 is, that's, yeah, the windshield, the wipers. That's around the range that they design shit flying at you to do. The amount of explosion on the windshield, the wiper, every single Dover cop, that came this way, every single Guilford or whatever, I don't care, Sheriff Associate, who cares? Now, Jay McCain never even came in the woods. He tried to tell me the man was in the woods. And then he goes to me at your police barracks, well, what distance you think it is? I said, oh, I don't know about the woods to the truck. About here to there. He goes, oh, I go through your windshield. Like, where do you go with it? That's talking in a circle to me, okay? Now, I tell you, I don't know shit. So listen, my teachers are all here, and it's the best in the world.
I want to make this point.
Make a point.
There's nothing we can do with that bullet, Chris.
No, we're past that. Let's move on. Let's move on. Here we are now is with
Chris,
him and
no, I want to explain this bullet. Listen a minute. You refuse to give that to the officers who could be sent for testing. There's
No, that's
nothing
not
we can
true.
do with that. We're not forensics experts. You're not a forensic expert.
I didn't say was.
Maybe a
You know-
forensic expert could have, but
This
you
is what I'm
refuse
t-
that.
well,
That's I
look-
want you to know that. So
Okay.
that's a done case as
I-
far as we're concerned.
It absolutely is.
Yes.
Okay, here's where you ignored, and I've called the state police in New Hampshire, told them about this. Maine, okay, because there are people who listen, and yeah. So, what I said to the officer is, listen, I have this piece. You go over there and you find the shell, the friggin' casing. All I asked is, please just go over there. Now this is a bullet, okay? The old man accused me of stealing a rototiller a week before. You understand me? Now, the officer on that scene, the rototiller's right there. He goes, nothing that old man said makes sense. I said, you don't know who the fuck I am, do you? So now, he could call about a rototiller that he didn't see me go get. It's a rototiller. This is a bullet. And I says, I have this piece. You go find that piece, and then I will give it to you. You make an effort? Well, guess what? I could get you that officer that's now guard down in your thing. We went over this, and he said, I wouldn't have given that. And he's a cop, too. And he goes, yup, that's what they should have done. And that's his opinion, my opinion, and your opinion. Okay, we're going to move on. This summer, I have Vinny's fucking cousin. They live down there. Come and get a gun and pull a gun on me. Nothing done about that. I asked him, when are you going to do something? When I'm shot? He is leaving it up to the friggin' civilians to fucking shoot me because he knows.
So, did you cover a gun incident? Who covered that? Who was the officer you talked with?
I'm not sure who it was.
I mean, why are you blaming Guy if it isn't his case? I remember looking that up because you and I have talked about this before.
Oh my God, dude, when you come into my fucking Honda shop, we are a team, okay? If you think Don Scholes, our service manager, is going to be a cocksucker sucker to you as my fucking goddamn customer, ain't gonna fucking happen.
Well, let's keep our language.
Well, I'm sorry about the language. Okay, well, no, that's the biker shit, dude. Now you want me to
We're not. So let's use some
Yeah,
respect.
I'll use
in the
any language you want. If you're gonna be sensitive to language, that's fine. I won't use it. I have choice. What I'm trying to say to you is, I don't let one team member at anywhere, of a Honda shop or anywhere, jeopardize the safety or the reputation of our facility. I work for Kawasaki. I work for the owner of that business. He works for the people. So I'm trying to point out to you, you have a systemic problem with each of these officers. Now, why I keep asking him is to make right on his wrongs. Like him, where he can cross the street to snag me from no license, and then he says he didn't do it. Now, why would I pull out, knowing I have no license, pull out on an officer? You're trying to say I'm not fucking funkin' stupid, that I would pull out and not let him pass and then go. But no. This is a man who then does this and then does...
Did you charge him with not having operating?
Yeah, back in.
Yeah, right after this, dude, you know, and then that takes my license and makes my life even better.
Did you
What year
not
was
have a
that?
license?
No.
So what's your issue? You're driving without a license and
So
an
why?
officer stops you.
No. When you do this and you do wrong, you got to make your wrongs right. That's the point of this. You don't just keep doing wrongs. I don't think you understand what I live my life by karma, and that when you do wrong by a man, you try to do right. So when he had a list on the front of the car, a list of names, and there's my name. I went in your car and said, "Dude, what? It's like, what? There's no payphones now. I got to walk home. I know I did wrong, but you were waiting across the street, and I asked you, why didn't you come up to me and say, hey, Chris, you know, I lied for the sheriff once, because you came to me and said, hey, I lied for the sheriff at the gas station, and then you."
Guy, listen, Chris.
Guy?
Don't.
So,
Why would you sit there? Do you see the way your head turned in your eyes? That's a clear indication. Man, head turned. You're horrible at lying, so don't do it. Tell it. There you go, the blink of the eye. You're getting personal. I can see your face. It's funny.
Well, it's hard not, Chris, it's hard not to be personal because you're making personal accusations.
Listen, sir.
Guy didn't
my
lie.
job is to keep people. He's done nothing for me. But
So
this is what it is.
let,
This is where he started with Gaida.
but we've talked about that. I won't go
Here
back.
we are now, where I could go to jail for a year, and I went to this man, and I went to this man. To just put it on paper that this man knocks people off for looking at him wrong. That's where we're at now. In the gun incident, this...
Well, I wouldn't put that on paper either. Go to Dover Police and talk to them. It's their case.
But
I went to you.
I'm not Dover. I work for the sheriff's department.
Todd, when I came here and told you, why wouldn't you say, well, you got to go to Dover? Who are you? Sheriff's Department. Who are you? Who are you? What is your job? That's why I've been asking you guys. What is your job? Is your job
You know our job. You know I'm the sheriff. You've said that to me 100
So
times.
when
on
I
the
come
phone.
to your officer and say, hey, why
I-
isn't it?
I want to go back to your last complaint. I want to talk about this gun because you've mentioned that a bunch of times.
Which gun is
Guy has nothing to
the
do
guy,
with
the
this.
one this summer?
The guy
Vinny.
that threatened you with the gun. Tell me
Vin-
about that.
That's, you know, Vinny Torrey.
yeah, I know who you're talking
Well, he
about,
moved
but
away.
I'm not sure who.
It's his
whose
father.
case it was. Might have been Radcliffe's, I'm not sure.
It's his father, stepfather, sorry. They moved away. He moved 2 hours away, okay?
I'm coming right back.
And come up to, I had 2 of his marijuana, okay, in the backyard. I had mine. And his, you know, it's a plant, it's what he gives me, and they weren't ready, but he came, he saw, of course, mine, and he was taking mine. He didn't knock on my door, 2 hours away. On here, it says, hey, dude, we're done. I called him, hey, don't come around here, man. You know, the plants aren't done. You're not coming here to take mine or any stuff, because, well, he just shows up. And Ezra is Linky guy. You know Ezra is Linky? Is that it?
Ezra Olnick, yeah.
Yep, Linky. He was there. He goes, somebody's outside. I look out there, and of course I can't see the color, but then I notice that it's Vinny. I go, look around. He's out back. Well, he's cutting my fence. He's not at his. Take his. Hey, 2 of his. Take him. No, he's at mine. And he's got him all in a box. He's got this 17-year-old kid with him on my property. Just walks on there, starts doing this. All I kept saying is, because of my situation with the knockout thing, guy, is that, because I would have picked him up and just, doof. Get off my land. I said it for half an hour. I lost my voice. Go, 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 go. Well, when he does start to walk up the hill, there's a dude with a gun. Now, I didn't know that he friggin' chambered the dang thing. And I'm walking up the hill, you know, from the back building. There's a white dog thing there, box. And I was just hiding behind it. Like, I don't know why. He's hiding behind the box. And I'm furious to see a gun because I don't like guns. And I'm telling him, of course, I'm going to fucking smack you in the head with the freaking gun. And, like, he never brought it up to this, but he had it at the 45. Poof. All he had to do was do that, but he went around his door, because I was going to take it. I'm going to take the gun. They had a baby in the car. The wife's in the car. And I gave him the marijuana, you know, here, take it. So, holy shit. Now, we didn't want to, you know, file the report and all that, and it was very hard because the baby, and we know that they have the medical cards, and it's like, dude, what do you do? But it's a gun. So he harasses my wife all night on this in Thailand, okay? And I call him and I say, hey, dude, stop, leave her alone. I'm not threatening him. I'm telling him to water the plant I gave him because I pulled it out of the ground, so I'm being sarcastic me. And the same time that Jeremy Ratcliffe comes, I have Mike Gould come and serve me with a non-contact from this guy. So I call the police down there, and I say, sir, you know, you have a non-contact thing with this dude. This is what he did, the gun. I says, did you listen to the messages? He says, no. I go, do you like that he lied to you? No. I go, don't you want to listen to those messages to see if you're doing right by this? He goes, yes. So then, of course, they leave it up to Ezra and I to write our reports. We write our reports. Nothing done. So, that cop down there, I'm telling him, you guys, yeah, these guys, you know, I think they're going to do right by, you know, by it. But, like you said, Chris doesn't want to do anything about the marijuana. You told me the whole thing when I walked you through with what's his name did. He said, oh no, he doesn't want nothing to do with the marijuana. It's like, but it's legal. I says, when is it going to stop? When somebody gets shot? You remember the conversation? That's it. You don't have to remember everything, like, because I'm the one who spoke the words. I understand that, and I fucking ramble. Oops. So, I know you only get parts, but I expect you to listen and get the parts that are important, not the in-betweens. So, nothing done. And I want a case against that Chris dude, man. The way he is. Okay, if a soul is touching somebody that doesn't want to be touched, I asked him who these people, because he gives me a list of people that I have no contact. I only need two. He tells me to ask my lawyer. I don't have a lawyer. And then he puts his arm around a woman who was in there for bouncing checks and smiles. That would be assault, sexual. And I went over it with the lawyer they gave me now. She agrees. He had no right to touch her. He did exactly.
Who touched her?
Chris, the prosecutor that wants to put me in jail for a year.
Chris, ow. Listen, Chris, now you're...
No, I'm not, sir.
Buying that.
With all of this research on this, I'm sorry. When I met the man, he came up to me with like a smart ass, and I gave it back. Jamie Kane told Bridget Island he's going to get me someday. You think that Chris is going to forget Chris? I know men hold grudges, especially prosecutors and people who lose. He lost the case against me. So, and I belittled Jamie Kane up there, and then I apologized when I'm done, like I've apologized to you, and I've apologized to you the time in Dover, did I not?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. What more can we do? Hey, I'm a dick to you. Ooh, I'm an asshole to you. I'm whatever to you. I'm very sorry. This happened. You know that it was that dude.
Well, so where do we go from here forward? I guess that's my question. We're not going backwards, Chris.
I don't want to go back to it. That's what I'm trying to say. How do you go forward? You guys should have cameras on, no? Because he's trying to tell me that I should be recording all this, and I say for you. So this is one of my things, okay? Right now, I don't know if you guys are you watching what's going on in the country with Biden and how he wants to put cameras on everybody? They're going to make it a federal.
We already wear cameras.
Where's your camera?
My car.
Body camera.
Yeah, I got one right here.
You have one there. Where's your body cam when you come to my place?
I wear it.
So you have camera of everything I've ever said to you.
Not everything, because I just got the camera a couple years ago.
Right. So now you guys. Okay. So where's the mental health part now? Rather than this is what it is. There's two stages to this that Biden wants the camera, which was just I love. That's awesome. That's the way it should be. Keep you and I safe. And then there's no dispute of what the fuck. What happened right now? You understand? Good. What about the other half, which you're not qualified Yes or no? I'm not. Are you qualified and are you certified to deal with mental health issues? No, none of us are you? You've passed a class to identify the difference. I've even asked to identify a liar. FBI profiling right here. I have a woman and a male.
So where are you going with this mental health thing?
Is that you guys to step up, like I said, with leaders. Why you have the biggest voices, right? Right. So why not? Or ask. You can literally ask for this from the state and acknowledge we have a problem and not, like I said, but part of it, yeah. But if they're not doing this and you got a mental health expert on the scene for your help, do you understand me? Don't you think this might not have happened?
This?
Any of it, because, guy, she's mentally ill, you know this, okay? So why should you, somebody, and me, somebody who's not certified to get this right and her head, because she believes what she did is real. Do you correct? To go to these situations, what I'm trying to say is you as a leader says, you know what? We have neglected our problem in this town, which is mental health issues. So therefore, when he comes on the scene, and it clearly is a mental health issue, that he has an expert there to calm the situation down. Yes or no? With Barry and me go, ah! Yes? Ha! Now, when you arrived, I thought it was going to go down. It didn't.
This might be what you're looking for.
That fighting didn't stop with the stuck on the stump thing. Now, if you went there, and this is what I say, American Honda with the problem solving, is recognizing each side of this story and come to a resolution before it ends up here. Or the bullet. That's mental health.
But as far as a dispute between two people over property being fixed or being repaired,
I agree.
that's
But
not.
when it gets to the escalation of violence
Mhm.
and guns, okay, that when Jamie came, he made it seem like the neighbor was fine with me, like putting the cab of a truck in front of a driveway where I wanted to put it someplace where we want to drag it, and then make it worse, because now he's dragging that shit down his driveway and he's gonna blame me for it. But I didn't do it. He did. I wanted to put it somewhere wherever you want to, Jerry. You get what I mean? To not further escalate something. He smashed the back window, flips a cab over. These are not objects, Todd, you can move. I moved them with my skid steer. I had them strapped on. Why not just put them someplace you want them? That would be, not escalating a situation. Or the situation's here, and Jamie's trying to tell me he tried to fix it. What method? You didn't. And then there's the reasoning method about, let's just say, hey, Jamie goes on the scene. Look at the work Chris did. Okay, he told you he had no power. He did this, and that's like problem solving. You know what I mean? Not leave it up to the courts, I'll walk away.
But the problem is, if we get too involved in these problem-solving issues, then, one side or the other could say that it was us, as law enforcement, trying to.
Listen, we are not to figure out the logistics of nothing. They're already doing this in parts of the country. Do you understand me? What I'm trying to say to you is, it's not your job, and it's not your job, and it's not Bob's job. All your job is, as 3 officers of the law, is to make it aware. Yes, we here in this Pistaticus County, we do have some mental issues. And rather than prosecute and go to the court systems with these we're poor. Now, are you bettering our lives by bringing us in the court systems? Are you educating us on how to react with one another in these situations? No. All you're doing is punishing us because of, I'm not going to say me, but mental illness, okay? The one thing they say on here about mental illness is that if you're searching for it, you clearly don't have it. If you have these, you're not. All of my doctors that I look at, mental health experts that I listen to, and there's to get different opinions of somebody. Just like I tell you, FBI profiling, I've watched a female and a male. There's 2 different perspectives on that. Do you understand me? So when I tried to explain to him, I'm trying to explain to all of you, is how do you get good? How am I, and I don't want to be known as a good technician, I'd rather be known as the best therapist in the world, but no, this is the dumb direction I had to go. So when you have Kane saying that you're not good at what you do, it's like, you know, I don't even really care. But anything I put my mind to with reading, how? Get what I'm saying? So it's not up to you, it's not up to you. You know most domestic are a mental health issue. That's a fact. That's facts. How can't you just sit there and talk to one another? What's the problem? Let's fix it. It's that simple. Because guess what? They're fighting over.
So,
They're fighting over something. So what I would like is, Bob, is that okay? This is what it is. It's going to become where they defund the police doesn't mean take your nice cars away. It means take some of that buku money and allocate it towards mental health. Now that's what I would like. But what I would like is because rather than our president step up, why don't you three become the leaders of all of this? Do you understand me? And say,
So-
you know something? Because you can. Listen, call the news company. Call
listen,
W3 News.
this is in the works. It's in the works in the legislature. It's in the works with
I
Charlotte.
understand. I see it.
Charlotte White is trying to, Community Health and Counseling is trying to hire someone. There's a grant.
I got it.
It's in the works.
Okay.
Things take time. Those things are out of our control. But I do want to say this to you. This is the incident on September 26th. It was Deputy Jeremy Ratcliffe. He took statements from everybody there. He submitted the case to the DA's
I
office.
know. And that's,
The DA's office decided not to file a complaint.
yeah, I know that.
I-
I know where it's.
So I'm not sure what your point is. You weren't ignored. The deputy did legally what he could do.
Who's the
if-
deputy?
if-
Oh, yes, I
if
didn't
I
say
had-
lieutenant. I know where it's ending, sir, now. Bob. I'm sorry to say it that way. Sorry.
You're fine.
But what I'm trying to say is, I'm not gonna get over the incidents with you and argue about this, but what I'm trying to say is, I know it starts at you guys and then it goes to the next level, and it's up to him to determine. Do you understand me? But you, and you can't tell me that these are not things that should have been addressed. Do you understand me? This is facts. These are
This case here?
guns. Yes.
I'd have charged you, to be honest.
For what?
Assault.
For what?
Well, according to this guy.
See, that's what I'm saying.
You
According to
assaulted him a couple of different times, and
When?
he took the gun out in self-defense.
When?
I think
That's what I'm
you
trying
ought
to say,
you ought to
Bob.
appreciate Chris's decision, that it was half dozen one, six of the other. You had.
Bob, the man with the gun couldn't even, I was saying, go. That's it.
Yeah.
Go. I pulled the friggin' plant out of him and I said, go. Put it in.
That's your side. There's another side. And all I'm trying to tell you is that Chris has to look at both sides. And when you have
What
competing...
about what's his name's side?
Ezra?
He saw the gun. He saw the man
Yeah,
drop the gun.
his statement is in there. But so on the
Let me
three
ask
on
you
the other
this,
side.
why do you get to ignore the no trespassing sign at the mouth of my driveway, drive in my
Well-
driveway, go and start an incident, listen to me, sir, start an incident, he was told on here, it literally he was told not to come to the land on here. He was
There's an
told-
answer to that. The answer is that you gave him permission to put his marijuana plants there, and he's called and told he's coming to get his marijuana plants. There's not a
He was told to not come because
There's not a DA in the state gonna charge somebody with criminal trespass under that circumstance. Isn't gonna ever happen, because it's not. You can't say that's
here's the
criminal
message
trespass.
from him where it's told to stay away from my house.
So-
No, listen to me, therefore you have to get the police to come, no?
My point to that
Do you
is
not
that
hear that?
you
So
were
listen-
He's talking.
Look,
He's
I
talking.
hear, I know it's exactly
You
what
were
you're
listened to, the deputy put the case together, gave it to the DA makes a legal decision. That's not you being ignored, and it's not the police not responding to what you're saying. Jeremy took your information, treated it seriously, interviewed everybody, followed it through, sent it to the DA's office. That's what should happen. That's my point, is you're not being singled out and you're not being
Do you
treated
not understand
unfairly.
that? Why, why not, why is it that, okay, to me this, how is it that, I don't give a, you know, possession's the 9/10 of the law, do you understand that? It is.
Well, it isn't.
Listen to me, there's literally a plant in my yard that if you put a value on those things that were not ready, is worthless. So nevertheless, I don't give a shit if I have your plant. What makes you think when I tell you not to come to my house, you can just show up without the police, come and do what you want in somebody else's yard when you're told not to? That would then be trespassing.
In
He
some
had a
circumstances.
17, no, that's not true at all. How do you think, what makes you think I'm gonna believe that you could just walk into somebody's property and take what you want?
Well, if my property is on your property, I have a right to go get my property.
Not without the police?
Yeah, you do. If you need to call the police just come to keep the peace. Police,
That's
roll-
not true, dude,
But-
show me that law. Please,
What
I wanna
law?
see that.
I mean, there's no
You
law.
literally have a trespassing law in Maine.
Yeah,
I read it.
yeah, we deal with it very often. We're
I
very
can't go
familiar with it.
walk onto Jerry's lawn today because I left something over there of mine.
Sure you can. You have a right to go get your property.
I have to prove it's my property. I can't just say that's my
Yeah,
property.
Maybe that's another issue, but,
What do you mean that's another issue? How do you know that's my property? How do you know?
you know, then that becomes civil. And-
Exactly. So that's what I'm trying to say. to
So if you
The
leave your
incident
car,
between him and I is civil. He was told do not come on my property. There was a voice
That-
message and I'm here.
yeah, so that's what you say. They say something different. Chris has to weigh all that together
Now,
and say.
you understand, we were in the
really-
backyard. How is it that this man in the driveway, he never asked for help?
The point, Chris, is that Jeremy did what he should have done.
I didn't say Jeremy didn't. You're trying to
you've
tell
been
me
after
that,
me.
you told me just now that you would have arrested me for somebody
I
coming
said I
on.
would have charged you. Based on this, I would have
You're
charged you.
based on one person's statement. That's what I'm trying to say is, what about,
So,
he pulled a gun.
listen, you've been
How
talking.
can you, no, I don't understand how it is that somebody could brandish a gun. You can't, brandish a gun.
You've told me, you've talked to me for months now about this case. And you've said that nobody would listen to you and the police didn't do anything. And my point to you is the police did exactly what they're legally
didn't.
supposed to do. Exactly.
yeah, they're supposed to write it down, but how is it legal in Maine to brandish a gun when your life's not in danger? Why wouldn't you
Well,
call
you
the
know,
police
if I look at
before it
this-
gets to that point? Why wouldn't you show up with the police? Why is it that other police stations said that before these incidents, they should show up with the police, bring the
But-
police with them?
Chris, that's not, if Vinny came to your house without us and didn't ask us, then that is nothing.
And then,
But then we can't, for,
On here, listen to me, sir. On here, telling Vinny about guns, I don't like guns. Why would you tell somebody about, because his stepfather, when I was moving him, he came to town with a gun. And I told Vinny, I do not even like to be around him like that, because the dude is a friggin' mental case, that I don't want to be around him. And I made it clear to never bring a gun on my land, and then he does exactly what I've told him to do.
okay.
To not do, they do what I say don't do, and you're telling, listen to me, you're telling me I don't have any rules on my land, that somebody could come with a gun, somebody could come take something,
I'm
they
telling
do
you,
whatever they want.
all I'm telling you is that if you tell somebody they can grow marijuana on your land, then
I didn't tell him he could
then
grow,
you
he
can't
didn't grow
complain when they
it.
go get their
How did
marijuana.
he grow it?
But
He didn't grow it.
the
It was
bigger
his
point.
plant, I grew it for
Chris,
him.
you're arguing with the wrong people. The bigger point is, Jeremy did his work,
I didn't say he
the
didn't.
DA makes a decision based on, he's the attorney, he bases it on legal
So
issues,
this is what I was trying to do, I
and
wanted
that's
to
the
know,
way it is.
I wanted to know if it was worth me putting that children's campground there, and it's clearly not. It's
Well,
clearly not.
it's up to you.
Well, somebody could come and shoot at me, nothing's
Well, no.
done, because that's me. I
Yeah.
got bullets
With-
flying by my property, and then I have people that can come and, bring a gun if they say that that's theirs, and that's the way it is here. Well,
We don't make the law, we enforce it.
but you're saying that, you know what, yeah. Wow. You have, yeah. Hey, once,
So my suggestion
so
to
your
you-
welfare case is basically the people who live off the state, that was Vinny, my neighbor, they collect the state checks, they have their rights, and the working man has none, with one leg, no bathroom and no running water at times.
But, yeah, you're talking about issues that are beyond our control.
No, because
You-
Chris Raoul got to sell the 100 pounds of marijuana that was his, and all I wanted to do was the tractor fixed, the shit cleaned up, and the rental on the land, and I didn't get paid.
If-
The neighbor moves marijuana all throughout the country, and he gets to get what he wants, and he gets free welfare money, but Chris just doesn't want the guns and the bullets, and and it's okay for that.
So, you've
We're
talked
done.
about how you.
No, we're done, and
Okay.
obviously this is going nowhere, so it's
Good.
exactly what I thought it would be. See, that's what I think. Good, it's over, you don't have to listen to it anymore.
Yep. I don't think
Well,
it
we
was.
listened to you, we've listened to
Yes,
you
but
for
what
an
I'm
hour.
trying to say is that you're trying to tell me that it's okay to bring guns, it's okay to shoot at Chris for motorcycles, for the marijuana, wow.
You-
Not from you, from your prosecutors or the higher ups, you get what I mean? But then what you said there, that you would have done the same, wow.
So I'm trying to tell you that
That's your
Jeremy,
opinion, and that's cool. I don't have a problem with Jeremy. He did his job, I know that.
he did. That's
I
what
didn't
I'm
say
trying
that.
to tell
I didn't say
you.
that.
So Guy has nothing to do with that, and you're
I
trying
didn't
to.
say he did.
Well,
You got off track. I'm trying to adjust in the mental health thing, but we did.
And we do need to address that. I absolutely
And
agree
that,
with
if you
you.
think that Vinny,
All I
you
can
don't know
tell
what
you is
I've
it's
done
in the
for Vinny
works.
in the past, but you know what? What's funny is that nothing what you've done for him to be a friend, bringing the generator to his house when we lost power, cutting it, the amount of hours and the amount of marijuana you've given him, see, I'm giving it to him. He's coming to me because he has done. And then he tells me how much money he made off of selling marijuana. I'm like, what are you doing? You making money? What do you mean? Are you asking me for it? Do you sell it? So, yeah, so it's kind
I
of
believe you.
weird. Right.
And sometimes when you help people, you're right, you get burned.
Well, yeah, like Adam St. Louis. He helps Adam St. Louis. Adam St. Louis burns me, starts screaming and yelling.
But him and that, there's
Yep.
no connection there.
Well, he sold him the pickup truck. He's giving him Quaker State. They're friends,
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. The Quaker State cans, how you do work emptying garages. So I don't understand this, how certain people in this town who have literally criminal pasts, they get special from they are not breaking the law. But Chris, I don't have a criminal past, but I do now. Since I moved to Guilford, I'm a criminal now. So, and if you don't see it, it's there.
That's civil, that's not criminal. That doesn't make you a criminal. You have an assault
To me,
charge.
okay, sir, I don't think to me, no, in any law broken. My moral compass is here. The only laws that I think that are speeding on a motorcycle, you know what I mean? But moral laws, that to me is all, like, I'm sorry I used the word criminal. I know it's all civil matters. I'm sorry I used that word wrong. But to me,
Yep.
it's like criminal against your moral, you get what I mean? It's like, it's horrible. And,
I hear you.
yeah, so
I
I would
absolutely
never
appreciate
do
that.
any of this stuff, what has been done to me to another. I would never, ever do that.
Okay. I appreciate that. Not everybody operates the way you operate.
I'm old school. I was raised, I'm 50 years old this year. I'm old
Yep.
school. The handshake, look a man in the eyes, guy. That's what I'm trying to make out to you. I tried to help Vinny Torrell and his family in every way I could. I stood in water, putting a generator, taking the power. Yeah.
Okay.
Stood in water to help this family with a new baby. Okay? I took Ezra in, sleeping in the friggin', he's sleeping in the library. I fed him and everything, beer for a month, and then when he sat there and did nothing, I says, you gotta go back home.
All right,
So,
I'll call him.
thank you for the coffee.
I'm gonna
and-
get into this office and go.
Yep, we can agree to disagree on a lot of things.
Okay.
I don't
All right, thanks.
know that I feel safe bringing a campground into the area, and it's a shame.
That's up to you.
No.
Guilford is a very safe place, safest place in the country, actually.
Who are you saying this to?
I'm saying it to you.
Don't you
look-
think that's
look at the
funny?
sta-
When he laughed.
You
The
look at the
man's leaving with
statistics.
No, I
the
mean-
man leaving with the bullet in his
This-
pocket.
The
Safest place in the
Maine,
country.
Maine is the
I
safest,
agree. I'm not saying we're like Chicago, sir.
Maine is the safest state in the country, literally.
Oh gosh, with the virus?
Is
Hell
the
yes.
safest place.
Hell yes. I agree.
Piscataqua is not the virus,
Oh,
criminal-wise.
I believe you.
Piscataqua is the safest place in Maine.
I believe you. I'm not
So,
saying that it's not a safe
you know-
place, but listen to me, sir. These are all, the bullets that were pointed at me were purposely pointed at me, okay? I'm an outspoken man. You understand? I know.
You- Give us that bullet, we'll send it for, to a forensic lab and see what they can do with it.
I would like it back. I want to put it on a friggin' thing someday.
Okay.
Oh, can I? I want to put it on the thing someday.
Sure.
I know, it's your bullet. We'll get it back. We're gonna send it to the crime lab.
And all I asked was the casing to come. That's it. I Googled Earthed it. You know what I mean?
How do you Google, did you go find the casing?
No. My thing was, when the truck was parked, because I didn't even know, and you guys don't, I didn't tell you the story. I don't remember who I told. It wasn't these guys. So, it was Kane, I believe, and Mike. So, yeah. So, I come out and this is my building. My truck is here. The bullet's here. Okay? And I look at the head. Of course, I look at thinking it came this way but then I go, oh my God, the direction, boom. And I found out that Jerry, because remember when there was a vagrant over there and he put up the signs that say no trespassing? I didn't know Jerry owned the property. How would I know? I thought the Christian camp owned it all. And I was just making a comment to Jerry about the sign. Oh, what the fuck? So I was like, oh, okay, you got a camp over there? Never been there. Didn't know. So, because I said it came, like him, which way did it come from? This way. Not you, but Kane, this way. You know, your ballistics expert, this way. I'm like, then it might go tainted. There was no glass, and he got the video above the brake. So if it came this way, I'd be like this way. But it was nothing above the brake. It was all this way. So to me, it was this way. So I Google Earth. He's got a camp parallel. I hear him shooting down there. That's why. How do I know who's shooting down there? Christian camp, him. But he gets drunk and da-da-da-da-da. I can tell it's a pistol over, you know, because of revolver style or something. I don't know. But you can tell the firing time over, you know, one of those AKs or. So that's what it was. So I was like, huh. So I Google Earth it, and I go, oh my God, there's this camp. And with Google Earth, have you ever played with it? You can measure distances. So I put a die here, I put a die here. And just measure distance, 395 yards. Well, a 45 caliber held at this angle makes more sense than a vertical shot. I would have heard it, but because you have to understand the elevation of my camp versus where he is, it's different. So I'm watching a war movie at this time. Do you realize that? At the time, I'm watching one of these TV shows upstairs and it's loud on the computer, you know. And all he had to do was time a car. Okay, I heard it. It sounded like a shovel falling over. So I heard because where I'm sitting, this is my building. Where I'm sitting upstairs is here. Let's just say, well, the building, you know, I'm sitting here. Truck is here. If you look at the distance I'm away, I'm only 15 feet away, but I'm upstairs. So I heard it hit the window, and the window is caved in. It bent the windshield wiper. The amount of force that this went down, that's what you have to understand. They're going to know the speed that was going, just by ballistics, like you said. Dude, it came down so much compression, the windshield wiper pushed down, bent, hit the windshield, pushed the windshield, get it all the way down to the bottom of the dash, didn't dent the dash, twisted. You can see how it, look through a magnifying glass, you'll see how that thing twisted. How could it twist in a spiral? It can't do it in what they call a tumble. These are the technical terms for ballistics. Up, down, tumble. That's spiral because it has two flat marks where it hit, compressed, twisted with full momentum and went the other way. It's plain as day on there. And I have your ballistics expert saying no, and it's like, dude, I play with metal. He's been in my shop. I could tell you what it, because of the flat marks, the windshield wiper is metal, narrow, and flat. So you can see, of course, it's a soft material, but him and I agree, comes down like this, stands up, compresses, because it's spinning, twists, rolls off into, I have on the phone, you remember the video, it's kind of gnarly. No, your ballistics expert couldn't even discuss this. I talk about trolling. Trolling, it's on here. It's when a man's, and they drop, and he storms off like a child. Because I wasn't going to give him that. I was just like, get somebody else here. Let's discuss it. You know what I mean? Like, you say this way, I say this way. You say tomato, I say tomato. It was that. So why can't we get every sign? Have it done?
Yeah, I got a complaint.
Sorry, guys. You know what I mean? Yeah,
So we'll see what they can tell us at the
but
lab.
that's like, it's too late. I mean, that's the old one. But I'd like to know.
Yeah, let's find out.
I mean, no. Actually, if that's a crime, 6 years. But I say, yeah, I'd like
6
to know.
years for a felony, 3 years for a misdemeanor.
Well, if you have misdemeanor and you have felony, what would be in the middle? Just a normal criminal without a felony? No?
Well, there's two types of classes. There's murder.
Misdemeanor A, B, C, D,
Yeah.
E, F, G,
So-
W,
so
X, Y, and Z.
D and E are misdemeanors,
Right.
3 years. CBA,
And what is
felonies.
this one?
This is probably a misdemeanor.
Should have gun at somebody?
We'll see.
Unless we could prove he was trying to shoot you. It doesn't sound like he was.
But I went to,
You weren't out there when it happened.
not outside, it was cool, yeah, I can't see him, but, well, okay.
Let's see what they say.
Well, what I'm trying to say is like, dude, he's a marksman.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He knows I hate guns. We just had a big dispute. I don't know. But
All right.
it's not like I want him in trouble, dude. You get what I mean? I don't want anybody in trouble. I just want to be left alone, not shot at, and have a safe
Yeah,
environment.
I
to
can
live in.
understand that. That's not asking too much.
I didn't think so, but sometimes it does seem difficult. Have a good day.
Thanks for coming in.